Today we're going to be looking at the exterior dimensions of both the 1994 Mazda RX-7 and the 1991 Acura NSX. We're going to be comparing their lengths, their widths, their weights, their wheelbase, and just giving you a good comparison of these two super JDMs. All right, let's get started. So let's go ahead and talk about their overall length. So the RX-7's length is 168.5 inches, and the Acura NSX, using Honda's website, the length is 173.4 inches. So the RX-7 is shorter, okay? All right, now we're gonna look at the height. The stock RX-7 would be 48.4 inches, and the stock height on an NSX 1991 would be 46. So the NSX is still lower by 2 inches in OEM configuration. The width on the Mazda RX-7 is 68.9 inches, and the width on the NSX is 71.3 inches. So we're looking about 2 inches on the width as well. Okay, everyone, let's talk about wheelbase. So the wheelbase on the RX-7 is 95.5 inches, and the wheelbase on the NSX is going to be 99.6 inches, which makes sense because it's longer. So if you know, the NSX is a mid-engine car, but the RX-7 is a front-engine car. But Mazda was able to achieve the exact same weight distribution as the NSX. And one of the main factors is that the RX-7 has a rotary engine, which weighs a lot less, requires a lot less mechanical parts. And so they were able to achieve that weight balance with the RX-7, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the interior dimensions here. So first off, headroom, which is important. So headroom on the RX-7 is 37.6 inches, and headroom in the Acura NSX is 36.3. Now that depends on, I believe, the configuration of if you have the sunroof or the Targa, but based on the brochure and based on Honda's website, it looks like the RX-7 has more headroom. Let's see about legroom. Legroom for the NSX is 44.3 inches, and legroom for the RX-7 is, let's see, I almost read that wrong, is 44.1 inches in the RX-7. So almost identical on legroom. And then shoulder room, I didn't even know there was such thing as a shoulder room. For the NSX, it's 52.5, and for the RX-7, it's 51.8. Now we have to see how much they weigh. So the weight on the RX-7 is actually a little bit vague. So they say it weighs anywhere from 2,700 pounds to about 2,800 pounds. And the NSX weighs about 3,000 pounds. So depending on the options you get, like if you got the Bose system on the RX-7, or if you got the CD changer on the NSX, you're gonna be plus or minus, I would say 25 pounds or 50 pounds. But it's safe to say that the RX-7 is a couple of 100 pounds lighter, which makes sense because of the dimensions, but it's really cool to see these numbers on paper. So if you look at the RX-7, it is a very sleek car. It's a very stunning and very smooth car. Now the coefficient drag for the RX-7 is 0.29, which is pretty awesome. And the coefficient drag for the NSX is going to be, drumroll, 0.32. Just to give you an example in comparison, a Porsche GT3's coefficient drag is 0.40, and a Lamborghini Huracan, which you know is very sharp, is 0.40. For these cars that definitely have similar and way less coefficient drags, that says a lot about 90s engineering. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. This was fun. This is what we're all about, nerding out. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.